angle of the shadow doesn't change at all. So thus you can infer that all the light rays are coming from the same exact parallel equatorial plane.
You're going to need a flat earth for it, aren't you? Yes, you definitely will, so I'm not going to get an answer. I'm going to get a lot of chanting through the conclusion. So we're going to be perpendicular to the plane of reference, aren't we? It's going to be vertical, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're going to need a flat earth for that. Yeah. Earth is measured flat. They just need a little bit of flat earth. You know, like perpendicular to the plane of reference for the stick. I mean, it's not like we can randomly shove it in to a globe. It needs a plane of reference to be perpendicular to. You don't have that if you're pointing inwards on a globe, obviously. So you're going to need a flat earth to reference to start this process off, just to shove the stick in the ground. Made a claim. This curve angle works on a globe just like it works on a flat earth. No, mate, it doesn't. It only works on a flat earth. Now, you're going to eat that before we move on. Now, if you don't, I'll keep you here indefinitely for my audience's amusement. Making you a zealot? Something you denied? Or maybe you can actually prove you're not a zealot by conceding that fact you called me a liar for stating. Earth will be measured flat for you to call this angle an angle. Can you concede that, zealot?
So by bending the knee, that would make me not a zealot?
So far, not conceding a fact that to call this on screen for 120 people live watching that are laughing at you and calling you a clown, for it to be called an angle, it must have a flat baseline while you chant through the conclusion of what will stop you being a zealot as you demonstrate zealotry by chanting through me. And asking you again to concede that which you still have not. Zealotry. If you eventually concede it, we can say that we're helping you stop being such a zealot. But at the moment, all you're demonstrating with your interruptions, constant interruptions, is zealotry. Because you can't concede something that's been put to you. I'll count them off. 9 times. In your example, that you are now chanting through incessantly because you're a zealot, in your example, Earth has been measured flat for an angle. I'm asking you to concede that, and you're asking me about whether or not taking a knee would make you not a zealot, rather than actually conceding that Earth is measured flat for this angle. That's the actual argument?
I would love to tackle the other part, which is zealotry.
You mean the bit that's not the argument? You'd much prefer to discuss something that's not the argument about Earth being measured flat in a flat Earth debate. You'd rather discuss your incessant zealotry than address your argument containing a flat Earth measurement. Yeah, I'm sure you would rather discuss zealotry than the flat Earth in your argument. Sure.
Well, first off, I would love for, I would be allowed to really show you my argument and you'd listen to it without being called a zealot.
I heard it. You told me angles could work off a curved surface as well as they work off a flat Earth. We pointed out that if they're curving, the baselines, that is, for a curved surface, then they're not angles. We listened to your argument. We responded to it now 10 times. But you want to discuss zealotry that you're demonstrating by not conceding something 10 times.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Nathan, I think when you get a chance, I can clear up what he was actually trying to say. It's just a minutia point, but it's worth knowing.
Okay, I'll shout out Unitox Femu. Where is the object which is making shadow? Question mark. Thank you for the super chat. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, he's trying to use the other angle. You know, you got 3 angles in a triangle. You got the 90 on where the stick's in the ground, right? You got that 90, which requires a flat Earth. And then over on the
I would like to say it's not a triangle.
Side of the ground,
what I prefer, John, is that any examples that make him look stupid or prove Earth's being measured flat, it'd be better if he talked straight through the middle of those rather than them being concisely delivered to the audience. Much better if he talks through the middle of them. He's got something very important to say, he thinks. My friend, you don't know the difference between maths and science, but you're going to tell us you've got something very important to interject with. Shut your mouth. Listen to
You're
the people
attacking
talking.
the character rather than the
Mate, we've
argument.
gone through your example 10 times. Now you can shut up.
You never listened to the example. You didn't.
Your example was an angle off a curve and an angle off a flat earth.
Yeah, but that's not.
Yeah, but I did listen. Now shut your mouth. We dealt with it 10 times. Shut up.
Humongous, to be fair, man, they were just explaining something to you and trying to clarify something for you. And when they got to the point, you've just spoken straight through the top of them again. So if you would like to go ahead, Nathan, I think it was
John.
Not sure who was speaking. John?
Yeah, what you have three sides to the triangle. Where the stick goes in the ground, you form your 90 with the flat earth, and then moving out to the corner where the shadow is cast on the flat earth, you form an angle there. That's what we were discussing. He was trying to take it to the vertical, that where the stick's 90 degrees to the flat earth, and go to that third part of the triangle that's not touching the earth.
58 minutes per hour. Yeah. You're talking about the guy with like the compass?
We got a guy with a stick in the ground with a sun shining.
Yeah.
And he's creating a triangle, a right angle triangle, where the right angle is the base of the stick. The other part of the triangle is the angle to the sun. Yeah, the shadow. How is that not forming a triangle, as per your claim?
The reason why is the angle he's actually measuring here is the one where the sun first is interrupted by the pole. He's just using the ground because it's easier to measure it like that. In the case that he can realistically be up on the side of a mountain cliff and still be able to measure the shadow of the stick, even though there's no ground next to him, right? The shadow is all the way down the ground, probably 1,000 meters below him. He's measuring the vertex right at the tip of the stick.
To what? The sun.
The sun's
and the
rays
stick,
being
just out of
blocked.
interest, sorry, the stick itself, we just ram that into the ground at any old direction, do we not? On the side of the mountain.
We would like it to be upright.
What, as in perpendicular? Sorry, stop. As in perpendicular to the plane of reference?
As in to the point where it doesn't fall down.
As in
Then
perpendicular
perpendicular
to the plane.
I don't see how this has anything to do with anything.
I mean, okay, so I can just shove it into the ground sideways, can I? The stick.
No.
Oh no, so it would need. No. Yeah, I got your answer. I'm leading you. Yeah. So no, it would need to be what, perpendicular to the plane, like at 90 degrees to it, like vertical.
This is where a tangent.
This is where I don't get an answer, because you're going to need a flat Earth for it, aren't you? Yes, you definitely will. So I'm not going to get an answer. I'm going to get a lot of chanting through the conclusion. So we're going to be perpendicular to the plane of reference, aren't we? It's going to be vertical, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to need a flat Earth for that. Yeah. Earth is measured flat. They just need a little bit of flat Earth. Like perpendicular to the plane of reference for the stick. I mean, it's not like we can randomly shove it in to a globe. It needs a plane of reference to be perpendicular to. You don't have that if you're pointing inwards on a globe, obviously. So you're going to need a flat Earth to reference to start this process off, just to shove the stick in the ground. I mean, maybe we haven't listened to your argument or anything, but your argument seems to require a stick perpendicular to a plane of reference. That would be vertical. For you to start this process off, you can't just shove it in any old how, can you? You're going to be referencing a plane for the stick itself. John pointed that out to you too. He said you'd have to have it 90 degrees to it, but you just chanted through it because you're a zealot. You didn't hear it because you talked through it. When John pointed that out to you, you started talking in the middle of his pointing that out to you. I'm actually reiterating something you didn't hear because you talked rather than listened to the flat Earth that will be measured when you get a stick to be perpendicular to it. Hope that's clear. Earth measured flat for your stick.
He invoked a tangent.
Hey, Nathan, just real quick for this character. where did he hear this claim or argument, if you will, that along those lines? Like, where did you get this from?
What? Where did I get
What
this like
argument
model?
from?
The
Yeah,
argument?
yeah. So
I don't
what
know.
what you're questioning him right now? Where did you get that from? I'm really, really interested. Like,
I
where did that
logically
come from?
thought it through.
Really?
So
So
if we
you
suppose that the Earth is a sphere, then realistically, if we also assume that all light beams are intersecting the Earth at the same parallel, just line, basically, then you should be able to move two places across this sphere in order to get the angles, and use those angles to find what like percentage of the full circumference you got. Because I was thinking this through with
incorrect.
like an orange.
That's
right?
incorrect.
So if
Stop. We don't need an example. We heard your claim. Once you make that claim, you stop, so we can take a giant dump on it. No, when you describe the parallel light rays, the reason for that little apologetic is so that you can take the light rays that meet a curved surface and won't give you an angle, as we've already pointed out, to the centre of a sphere Earth at the equatorial plane. Obviously, you did not know that.
Sorry, what?
The equatorial plane, you said light coming in parallel. That's a justification to take these angles from the centre of a sphere Earth at the equatorial plane. Second time I've said it. You obviously, given that I'm now repeating it and you're interrupting it, did not know that, did you?
As I was saying, sorry, I didn't explain further how my
you
thought
didn't know
process
that,
works.
did you? Stony silence.
Can I
No, he
explain?
didn't. No, he doesn't know how this works. He knows that light comes in parallel, according to his rhetoric. Obviously doesn't know why. Why would you declare that
do
light
know.
comes
I
in?
can explain
You don't need to interrupt me, you dumbass. I know more about your stupid globe Earth belief than you do. Now, you are shocked by that me, the Flat Earther, Nathan Oakley, knows more about your stupid religious belief than you do, and I'm prepared to call you out on every crap bit of belief you peddle here, and call you a zealot when you can't concede facts that you use in your claim, like angles off a plane. Yeah, you're a zealot, and I know more about your religion than you do. When I'm pointing out aspects of your religion, like why you would say light comes in parallel, you don't have to interrupt it. It's because you're going to move something that does not give you an angle, that's a light ray meeting a curved surface, to the centre of the globe Earth, effectively making it redundant, because you're then using an angle off a plane. That plane being justified by the parallel light you claimed, that you didn't even know why you were claiming it. I'm pointing out why you were claiming it and what it is used for. To move that light ray to the centre of hell and use it as an angle. Shut up! As an angle off the equatorial plane. That is the third time I've said it. I also concluded with, obviously, now really obviously, you did not know that, did you? Closed question, third time's charm.
Anyway, as I was going to...
Not anyway! You, zealot, who has no balls and isn't a man and cannot concede things, you did not know that, did you?
Oh, so you're just omniscient now?
I know you didn't know it because I've had to explain it 3 bloody times with you interrupting it. You said parallel light.
Yeah.
Why is it parallel? Exactly, pray tell.
Wait.
Why is it parallel? Tell me.
Let me explain. You want to let me...
Maybe you could eat your mic, really eat your mic, because then it won't be obvious that you're stupid. And now I'm saying it a 4th time. You did not know this, did you?
I did.
Why is the light parallel?
Okay, so I'm going to walk you through my thought process here. I thought
Tell us why it's parallel. Give it us in one sentence. Why is the light parallel? If you know why, tell us why.
I understood that as the stick or pole or whatever you're using to measure the light increases in height, the angle of the shadow doesn't change at all. So thus you can infer that all the light rays are coming from the same exact parallel equatorial plane, as you would put it, or whatever.
Yeah, the flat Earth that you'll actually use the angles with, that's a flat Earth. Equatorial plane. Yes, you'll need a flat baseline for these angles that don't work on the sphere surface. They work at the equatorial plane. A flat Earth that will work with the angles you measure. So, we'll be using a flat Earth then.
Well, I already ruled out the flat.
Sorry, stuttery man, yes is the answer you're looking for. Yes, we'll use the flat equatorial plane. Yes is the word you're looking for.
Can we not use ad hominems here?
What, when I ask you to say yes?
No, when you're calling...
No is the answer to a question that only requires one answer given it is conceded. We will be using the equatorial plane. Yes, we will. Won't we?
I would consider it unreasonable to...
So why are we discussing what you consider to be reasonable when I'm seeking an acquisition of an affirmation of the equatorial plane we'll be using? Why would you be discussing anything other than the affirmative confirmation? Yes, we will be using the equatorial plane with the angles the stars give us, won't we?
And Humongous, it's a yes or no answer. And no, Nathan wasn't speaking over you. You were silent for about 5 seconds because you just don't want to speak the truth, yeah? And you're trying to find a way around it. So it's a yes or no answer, or you'll go back on mute.
We'll be using the equatorial plane, won't we?
You will silence me.
We will be using the equatorial plane.
That's zealotry.
Sorry, zealotry is not what I am doing. It is what you are doing and now projecting. So in the face of his declaration that we will be using the plane, equatorial in nature, by his own words, he cannot simply affirm that which he has already stated overtly. He has stated we're going to be using it with the equatorial plane. Yes, we will, won't we?
I would argue that if you get angry about somebody...
Zealotry, ladies and gentlemen. 130 people watching your zealotry right now, really amused by it. They are laughing their heads off at what a zealot you are. Because you mentioned the equatorial plane, my friend, and now you're failing to concede that which you mentioned? I wonder why. Maybe I'm a zealot.
Yeah. He just backed himself into the corner and realised what he did.
He didn't back himself anywhere. I pushed him there. So we will be using...
Yeah, we ain't asking questions. We ain't asking questions no more. We're telling you guys it's flat.
Yeah, he
It's
backed
flat.
himself into a corner because he can't get anything off a curve. He's got to take it to the center of the Earth.
Yeah, for the angles to work, the ones we measure on the surface, they work up the equatorial plane in hell. On a plane, a flat Earth that matches with the angles measured on the surface, a flat Earth, because that's what angles are. We covered this in the last discussion with him.
He finally
Well, they
left.
should probably do what their authorities are doing right now is steering away from measurement. So, yeah, if you want to continue to argue this subject, you should probably take Danny Faulkner, PhDs, and take his tact and try to stay as far away from measurement as you can, bud.
Why do they do that, John? They're steering away from the measurement because they cannot get any measurement off of a curve. So they're steering it away from the ground.